Incredible speed, a tight turn, and a nightmare of twisted, burning metal. That was the reality for hundreds on board the train that derailed in Spain Wednesday, killing 78 people and injuring more than 140. Stephen Ward was on that train. He's a Mormon missionary from Utah, and he was just released from hospital. He joins me on the phone from A Coruña, Spain. So, Stephen, first of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing about as well as someone in a neck brace can be doing. I'm on the mend pretty quick, and I'm grateful to be out of the hospital.
And what was it like to be on that train?
At the moment of the crash, it was, honestly, it happened so fast I didn't even have time to really be scared. The train started leaning to one side for a couple seconds, and then we flew off the rails, and I didn't even have time to think, oh, I bet we're crashing. It was all very, very sudden.
Where were you in the train?
So I was in car number 8, but I'm not sure how many there were in all. There were a lot more at the train station, but I'm not sure how many of them actually pulled out with us. But I was somewhere in the middle of the train.
So you talk about how fast it all happened, that you probably didn't even realize at the time that you were actually crashing. Can you just describe those few seconds in terms of what you saw and what you heard as this train was crashing?
So we had just gone around a couple of sharp curves. And so at first this just seemed like one more sharp curve. And then you could feel one set of wheels lift up off the tracks. And there wasn't screaming or anything. People just were kind of like, whoa, we're leaning pretty hard. And then for about half a second, luggage started falling out of the rack up above us. I remember the man across from me in an act of bravery jumped up to catch a backpack that was going to hit a woman in the face. And then we just flew off the rails. Gravity was suddenly pulling sideways toward the windows, and I blacked out.
And can you just describe, did you get the sense that this train was traveling too fast? You mentioned there were a couple of other curves. Did you get your feeling that this train was just way out of control in terms of the speed?
So there's a little screen in each car that shows the speed of the train. And for most of the ride, it had been about 100 kilometers per hour. And I looked up a couple of minutes before the crash, and I thought it said 194. But it was all the way on the other side of the train car, and the sun was kind of shining off of it, and I don't have the best eyesight, so I thought, oh, that can't be right. It must be 104. It didn't feel that much faster, but it could have been. I honestly wasn't paying that much attention to the speed.
Did you feel when you were on the train, though, that you were going too fast, or did it feel as though it was a fast speed train, and did it feel okay in the moments before?
Honestly, it felt okay. It felt like this train is supposed to go fast. This is what it should be doing. I was writing in my journal at the time, so I wasn't really paying that much attention to the speed.
So then describe what happened. You talk about how you blacked out. Do you have any sense of how long you blacked out for?
I looked at my watch when I came to. I wasn't out for more than 2 or 3 minutes. The next thing I remember is them helping me out of the car. I was very lucky. My car ripped apart from one of the cars next to it, so they were able to help me out through a door rather than a window, and I was one of the first people they got out. I thought it was a dream when I got out. They helped me out of the car and up onto a little bank of land nearby, and I was there for a couple minutes before I began to suspect, I think this is real life. I think this train really just crashed.
And what did you see around you as you were coming to?
Like I said, I was one of the first people they helped out, and so I got to see a lot of other people getting helped out. I was covered in blood. I was not the only one covered in blood. There were lots of people crying. There was lots of people in a great deal of pain. After 2 or 3 minutes, paramedics got there. There were a lot of just civilians. I don't even know where we were, but from just nearby who were doing their best to help people get out. But it was pretty gruesome.
Have you ever, I'm sure you haven't ever experienced anything like this.
No.
How do you kind of, not that you can make sense of it all, but how do you try and, what have you been thinking about since now you're at a hospital? What have you been thinking about over the past couple of days?
Mostly, I'm just really grateful that I came off so well. I mean, I'm very sad that so many people passed away and that so many others are in critical condition. I was the very last person they pulled away in an ambulance because I was in relatively good condition. I mean, I have some good bruises, some scrapes, some staples, and a neck brace, but nothing that won't heal on its own. So my overwhelming emotion has just been gratitude that I didn't come off so much worse.
Stephen, good to hear that you're okay, and we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Thanks very much.
No problem. Thank you.